The United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy, has become a platform for a shocking allegation. Representatives Tim Burchett and Marjorie Taylor Greene accuse USAID of sending $40 million per week to Afghanistan, allegedly ending up in Taliban hands. These claims, if true, have profound implications for American foreign policy and the global fight against terrorism. The lawmakers' accusations strike at a fundamental question. Can the U.S. provide humanitarian aid to Afghanistan without indirectly funding the Taliban? Afghanistan, ravaged by war and poverty, relies heavily on foreign aid, with over half the population dependent on it for survival. Critics argue that any financial assistance under Taliban rule supports a terrorist regime, while others emphasize the dire humanitarian crisis. The controversy underscores the challenges of navigating the complex geopolitical landscape of the 21st century. Decisions about foreign aid are now strategic calculations with potentially far-reaching consequences. The alleged transfer of funds from USAID to the Taliban is shrouded in claims and counterclaims. Representatives Burchett and Greene assert that money is flown into Afghanistan on charter jets, auctioned for Afghan currency, and distributed to NGOs. Critics argue this process lacks transparency and accountability, with heavy Taliban taxation funneling aid money into their coffers. Burchett hints at potential kickbacks to U.S. officials, raising serious questions about USAID's oversight mechanisms. The Taliban deny receiving direct funding, claiming aid goes to NGOs, but their history of extortion makes this hard to believe. The Taliban's influence over all aspects of Afghan life, including NGOs, suggests they likely take a cut of the aid money. The lack of transparency surrounding USAID's funds is deeply concerning. The U.S. government must be accountable for taxpayer money, especially in foreign aid. Allegations of corruption and Taliban influence demand a thorough investigation. The American people deserve to know if their tax dollars are alleviating suffering or propping up a brutal regime. The controversy calls for a re-evaluation of how aid is distributed in conflict zones. The controversy over USAID's funding in Afghanistan extends far beyond its borders. It has ignited a geopolitical firestorm with implications for U.S. foreign policy and regional stability. Afghanistan's strategic location has made it a battleground for empires and a chessboard for global powers. The Taliban's return to power in 2021, facilitated by the chaotic U.S. withdrawal, sent shockwaves through the region. Neighboring countries fear the potential spillover effects of a Taliban-ruled Afghanistan. Allegations of U.S. funding to the Taliban heighten these anxieties, raising concerns about regional destabilization. The controversy also impacts the global fight against terrorism, emboldening jihadist groups worldwide. The Taliban's victory is seen as proof that the U.S. can be defeated, boosting terrorist morale. The situation in Afghanistan is a stark reminder of the complexities and unintended consequences of U.S. foreign policy. The U.S. withdrawal created a power vacuum filled by the Taliban, a group with a history of brutality and ties to terrorist organizations. As the geopolitical storm rages, the people of Afghanistan are caught in the crossfire. Decades of war, drought, economic collapse, and Taliban policies have created a humanitarian catastrophe. Over 28 million Afghans require humanitarian assistance to survive. USAID remains a critical lifeline, providing food, shelter, healthcare, and education. The agency's work is making a tangible difference despite the controversy. USAID denies wrongdoing, insisting its funding is rigorously overseen. However, the agency has yet to convincingly explain how it ensures aid isn't diverted to the Taliban. The controversy highlights the challenges of providing humanitarian assistance in conflict zones. Balancing the need to help those in need with avoiding support for those causing suffering is a delicate act.